Yeah.
And especially when he told me everything was better.
That's great.
Right.
How is Merrill?
Merrill is going for therapy.
Mm-hmm.
She's improving.
Okay.
She's exhausted after the therapy,
Oh, I'm sure.
but they have reservations to go to Texas the end of the month
Have to see that baby.
to see that new granddaughter.
Yes. Yes.
Mm,
Cool, cool. Good job. Hi, Roseanne. How you doing? Good Shabbos. It's Frema.
Thanks for asking. I'm in a situation where I have to move without moving. I've lived in this apartment for 48 years and I beat the possibility of eviction based on clutter by having the got junk people remove a whole bunch of bookcases and books.
Oh, wow.
And now, though, I've got a huge number of books left and they want to paint, which I don't really care about. But so I'm picking up the books one by one, like that famous Coda, whatever her name is, said, does this give me joy? But it really is like being my own executor. It's just too much, and I have all these plants on the windows. I'm told no, you can't have that, and so I'm going to try. The thing is, they said we don't have to do the whole apartment at once.
Okay.
You live in a
Shalom, everybody.
So you move everything out of one
Sorry to
room.
interrupt, but we do need to get started. I'm going
Shabbat
to mute
shalom.
everyone. We are already live on YouTube, so welcome to anyone joining us on YouTube, and welcome to everyone who is joining us on Zoom, and welcome to everyone who is here in the room, some of whom I have already greeted and some of whom I have not. So hello, hello. It's so good to all be here together, whether we are here in person or on Zoom or on YouTube. So let's begin by taking a moment. I don't know, perhaps it's been a hectic week. Perhaps there is something that is on your mind that's weighing you down. Let's just take a moment to try to put all that aside and breathe and relax our muscles wherever we're holding our tension. We make a space for Shabbat peace and Shabbat rest. We are going to begin this evening, if you have a prayer book, on page 126. That's in the bracketed numbers. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services. But I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other and to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. Is there anybody who would like to do the blessing over the candles this evening? Whether it's someone at home who has candles that you haven't lit yet, or someone here in the sanctuary who would like to do it? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, don't all shout at once.
I would like to do it, Rabbi.
Oh, you would like to do it, Frima?
If nobody wants to do it.
Okay,
Okay.
great. Oh,
I'm here. I'm just turning this around. I'm sorry. I'm
okay,
here.
that's great.
Okay. Did you mute me? Oh, no, I'm unmuted. Okay. All right.
I'm going to light our candles here.
Okay. I'll say this first. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Okay, I'm not ready yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I had a little problem.
All right.
Ow!
Oh, don't hurt yourself.
It's okay, it's not serious. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, be ready? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshonu b'mitzvotav v'tzivonu leil hamikneh shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Frima.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay, we come now to the Kiddush on page 123. How about somebody in the room? Alan, would you like to do the Kiddush this week?
We
123, I think.
got this.
Yeah, 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who finding favor with us sanctified us with mitzvot. In love and favor, you made the holy Shabbat our heritage as a reminder of the work of creation. As first among our sacred days, it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor, you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
If you're able, please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher krishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahavo v'ratzon hinchilanu זיכרון למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. קיוונו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת בכל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Amen.
You may be seated. We continue on page 130 with Lechun Ranana.
Lechune ranana, yai lai 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 lai, la Adonai, yai lai lai la la lai, narina, ay lai 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 lai, the tzoyishe. Let us sing out to God, the maker of all, sure and strong. Let all of creation, from mountain to sea, hear our song. Lechune ranena, yai lai 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 lai, la Adonai, yai lai lai la la lai, naharia, yai lai 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 lai, tzoyishenu, yai lai lai la la lai, yai lai lai la la lai.
We continue on page 128 with Shabbat Hamalka, the Shabbat Queen.
The sun on the treetops no longer is seen. Come gather to welcome the Sabbath, our Queen. Behold her descending, the holy, the blessed, and with her the angels of peace and of rest. Draw near, and here abide. Draw near, O Sabbath bride. Peace also to you, you angels of peace.
Page 263 is the Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ועלמד יברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביום אחד ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שם רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשו ברכו לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמה ואמרו amen.
Page 264 is the Baruch Hu. I invite you, if you're able, to rise.
Lai, 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 lai. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed.
On page 265, I invite you to read with me in the English. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed.
You may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקישרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 269, I invite you to read responsively with me. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all. Yet that oneness eludes our grasp as imperfection and evil abound. Before our eyes, there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness. There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul. When will redemption come? When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves. Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High. We learned God's presence redeems time and event, so we celebrate this power that makes for freedom.
Ay lay 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 מי כמוך Elim Adonai mi kamocha neder b'kodesh Nora tehilot osef ele Nora tehilot osef ele מלכותך רוב עליך, בוקע היום לפני משה ומרים, זילי אנו ואמרו, זילי אנו ואמרו, אדוני מלוך לעולד, אדוני מלוך לעולם ועד.
ונאמר כי יפדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Page 271.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Le'shalom. V'ha'amidenu, Shomreinu lechaim. Ufros aleinu, Sukkot shlomecha, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Eloheinu le'shalom, le'shalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. מקדשי שביעי שבת כולם ישבחו ויתענגו מטובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ובשביעי רצית בו וקידשת שבת. חמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. זכר למעשה וראשית שבת. זכר למעשה וראשית Shabbat, Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shomerei, 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 Shabbat v'korei hone Shabbat, Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shomerei, Shomerei, Shomerei Shabbat v'korei hone Shabbat.
The tefillah begins on page 273, and I invite you, if you're able, to rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Oh God, open up my lips as I begin to pray. Oh God, open up my lips as I begin to pray. Adonai, Adonai, sefatai tiftach, ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, Adonai, sefatai tiftach, ufi agi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohe Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohe Avraham, Elohe Yitzchak, v'Elohe Yaakov, Elohe Sarah, Elohe Rivka, Elohe Leah, Elohe Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdevot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, L'man Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer, Mashiach Magin. Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, V'Yizrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, V'chayei HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mahashiv HaRuach, U'morit HaGashem, Mechakel Chayim Bechesed, Bechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim Emunato Lishenei Afa, Bichamocha Bail Givurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechayei, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Ne'emana Talachayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai V'chayei HaKol. Atah kadosh v'shemcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalilucha Selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
You may be seated. On page 277, you set aside the seventh day for your name, the pinnacle of creation, and you blessed it above all other days, more sacred than all festival times. So it is written in your Torah. Please join me. The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God had completed the work that had been done, ceasing then on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, and ceased from all the creative work that God had chosen to do. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai, our God, grant as our heritage your holy Shabbat, that Israel, who sanctifies your name, may rest on it. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Page 279.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu Be'amecha Yisrael U'tefilatam Be'ahava Tekabel U'tehilei Ratzon Tamid Avodat Yisrael Yisrael Omecha El Karov Lechol Kore'av Penei El Avadecha Vechanenu Shefach Ruchacha Aleinu V'techezena elnenu Beshuvecha leTzion Berachamim Baruch atah Adonai Hamachazir Shechinato LeTzion LeTzion LeTzion.
We have come to Modim, our prayer of gratitude. And so now I would like to invite anyone who is feeling grateful for something today to share that. You can share it out loud, whether you're on Zoom or in the room, and you can share it, if you're on Zoom, in the chat. So either way. So who is feeling grateful for something today? Susan Sisler.
I am beyond grateful to all of the people, both medical and non-medical, who have actually made it possible for me to be here today to celebrate my 79th birthday.
Happy birthday, Susan.
Thank you.
Freema.
I am also grateful that Susan's here to celebrate her birthday. But I am grateful that I got the first step for my hair for the wedding, and that I'm trying to be very calm.
Grateful for hairstyles and for calm. Absolutely. Modim anachnu lach. Robert Rothman is grateful for Zoom. Karen Kramer is grateful that her son is in from Boston to visit, and her daughter and son-in-law were in last week. Charlotte Russell is grateful for a perfect weekend last weekend, celebrating Justin and Samantha's wedding. Patricia Matthews is grateful to be here. Nathan Schrader is grateful that he has a workplace that provides fast testing, so he knows that he does not have COVID and just a run-of-the-mill cold, which people are starting to get now, but it's not COVID. Still enough to keep him at home, but he's grateful that he can join services online, and grateful to Alan for repping Binghamton. Do you know what that means, Alan? Oh, so you're repping Binghamton. Absolutely. Good job, Alan. Janet is grateful for quality time with her mom. Linda is grateful to be able to be on Zoom with her Rabbi Heidi, that's me, and friends. And Linda Horowitz is always grateful for her daughter Faith, for good health, Zoom, family, and friends. And Lori is grateful that she is going to be able to visit Maxwell, her new grandson, tomorrow. Anybody in the room? Alan? Oh, he thought I said reffing, like refereeing, and not repping. But he is grateful to know what I was trying to say, I think. Okay. Diane Shanker, let's start with. You have to unmute, Diane.
Sorry. I am grateful that Les is being so well taken care of and well loved at Menorah. Bless them all.
Modim anachnu lach. Diane Figueroa.
I am grateful that Amy is just about recovered from the accident. All her tests came back fine. She's doing very, very well, and we're very, very grateful.
Modim anachnu lach. Mary Lou.
I'm grateful for the technology that keeps us all together, of course. I'm also grateful for the medical and non-medical people that are with Ron right now. And it looks like I'll be able to bring him home tomorrow.
Oh,
so,
that's wonderful.
Yeah, or maybe over the weekend should be. I'm grateful for supportive friends and neighbors. And I've received amazing good news from 5 different resources today. And I'm feeling totally free and liberated and able to really worship with you today and hopefully tomorrow with my mind clear. Thank you. And thank you, Rabbi Heidi.
Absolutely. Modim anachnu lach. Mona.
I'm grateful that I had a wonderful week with my grandson and his girlfriend, and that we were able to go to the theater together, and I was able to walk up all the subway steps and walk across Manhattan and keep up with them, and it just was a wonderful week for me.
Wonderful. Modim anachnu lach.
That's exciting.
Anybody else? Eslyn is grateful for the unprecedented opportunities for connection made possible by the digital era. Absolutely. Patricia.
Shabbat shalom. Yes, I'm also grateful. I'm also happy that Barbados has seceded from England, and Jamaica is going to be the next one to leave when they call for a referendum soon.
All right. Modim anachnu lach. Anybody else grateful for something today? I, on Tuesday, was leaving Costco and saw that I had a flat tire. And my daughter was with me, and she said, "What do we do?" And I said, "We go to a flat fix place." And I looked around, and I said, "Like that one over there," which I could see from the Costco parking lot. And so we went to the flat fix place, pulled up. I said, "I have a flat tire." They said, "Okay." They came, they took off the tire, they patched it, and they put it back, and they asked me for $15.
Wow.
That's 1.5. And
Wow.
I just felt this
Wow.
overwhelming sense of gratitude for where I live. A place where, you know, if you have a flat, there's a flat fix place nearby. And like, I'm not sure what exactly was going on, but I really felt like overwhelmed with gratitude when that happened, and that I could get it taken care of so easily. What? I know, Angel also had a flat tire. I think he changed it himself, but I'm not Angel, and I don't do that. I mean, I'm not bragging that I don't do that. It would be great.
Rabbi, everybody needs a job.
That's true too. Yeah. So it was, yeah. So that was my gratitude for this week. I just felt so grateful for where we live and all of the things that are available to us where we live.
Yeah, you know, I'm just going to say a grateful thing for where we live is that last night I got to hear the American Symphony Orchestra play only music of Duke Ellington at Carnegie Hall. So talk about where we live, that we can go to Carnegie Hall and listen to the music of Duke Ellington played by an orchestra and jazz musicians. It was really incredible. And it's a review today in the Times.
Modim and Nachlilach. I feel like that's the opposite end of the spectrum from my flat tire.
That's why I had to say that.
But that was wonderful. For all these things, O Sovereign, from technology to family and friends to Duke Ellington to flat fix places, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. We continue with our prayer for peace, page 282. Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Lamcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Lamcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Lamcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Lamcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'yinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol eit Al Yisrael Amcha. Tasim, tasim, leolam, shalom rav, al Yisrael Amcha. Tasim, tasim, leolam. Tasim, tasim, leolam.
Baruch atah Adonai hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. We continue now with our quiet prayer. There are words on pages 283 to 285. If you can see the screen, there are words on the screen. But of course, we can always use the words that are in our own hearts. We continue quietly.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי וגואלי יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי וגואלי May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer.
We turn our thoughts now to those among us and those in our hearts who are ill and who are in need of healing of body, of mind, or of spirit. If you are on Zoom and you have names to add, you could put those names in the chat, and I will give everyone a chance to add names out loud. Tonight we hold in our thoughts and in our hearts for healing Jesse Sakharoff, Ira Weiss, Elaine Drucker, Allison Plummer, Rabbi Dara Lerner, Kelly Quagliati, Susan Sisler, Joellen Fox, Alan Fremer, Valerie Pace, George Landberg, Susan Bilecki, Dana Haitkin Nelson, Arlene Rosenthal, Michael Luck, Barbara Weiner, Joan Lifshitz, Elizabeth Lee, Amy Juskowitz Soonseller, Deanna Roth, Jonathan Falkowski, Martha and Ed Vincent, Ingrid Grosso, Audrey Cohen, Eddie DeAngelis, Vicky Lightnaker, Nettie Trommer, Mia Gannon, Jerry Prezioso, Jeff Abel, Patricia Christensen, Monica Beyer, John Belay, Jerry Jaffe, Les Shanker, Myron Jacobson, Shira Reese, Jonathan Dash, Carolyn Dash, Donna Saltz, Ellen Dufour, Lou Levinson, Rita Soul, Amy Figueroa, Cynthia Wilson, Donna Clements, Daniel Ryan, Joe DeVito, Todd Petrie, Miriam Goldstein, Joshua Isidore, Lillian, Rachel David, and Sarah Goldstein, Jody Siegel Stein, Saul Siegel, Laurie Hope, Mark Dworkin, Sal Camiso, Jeremy Briel, Karen Vanderhorn, Laura and Ian Silverman, Genevieve Lightfoot, Linda Kushner Silverman, Donovan, son of Sarah, and Yehuda Ben Malka. DeAndre Wine, Juliet Dale, Elena Aram, Chanel Kamabach, Jimmy Jenkins, Joanna Marie, Teresa O'Sullivan, Sarah West, Mary Lou McGivney, those who are struggling in the Caribbean islands, in Israel, in India, in Afghanistan, in Haiti, Jennifer Magoob, David Mauser, Hannah Paines, Judith Kors, Ernest Tornin Casa, Jerry Jaffe, Karen and Dennis Swass, Noah Nesson, Laurie Osher, Mickey Green, Jerry Prezioso, Rebecca Diamond, Merrill Kantrowitz, Steve Strauss, Lori Silverman, Jody Siegel Stein, Saul Siegel, Mark Dworkin, Lauren and Ian Silverman, Laurie Hope, Sal Camiso, Jerry Jaffe, Bob Bernstein, Elliot Wolfsey, Paul Markowitz, Baby James Scarpola, Ann Kelly, Mary Lou McGivney, Nancy Kelly, Robert Trachtman, and all of those who have been hurt in Ukraine. Jackson and Tara Kushner, Shelley Samet, Sherry Jacobs, Carol and Stevie Doppelt, Ronnie Katlowitz, David Gershon, Paul Markowitz, Alid and Pat Colella, Jesse Laban, Harvey Barkin, Jeannie Osiello, Delphine Wolf, Yulia Campbell, who has missing family members in Mariupol, Ukraine, and who also now has COVID and is unable to travel from the UK to Ukraine in search of them. Ron Cricky, Laura Cricky, Jean and Larry Green, Lainey and Larry Vinico, Ginny Shabate. Who else has names they would like to add? Janice? Alan? Mike? Adrian? Eric? Freema?
Rochelle Ronick, Nathan Amami, Reva and David Cohen, Lucy Palazzolo, Martin Bennett, Carol Beanstalk, Phyllis O'Neill, Kathy's brother Gabby, Francina Mitchell Popowitz, and Arlene and Stephen Schneier. Thank you.
Anyone else have names to add? Okay. We also include all of those suffering from COVID-19 and those who have been hurt in recent disasters, whether natural or human created, including, of course, the war in Ukraine and other conflicts elsewhere in the world. You can find the Mishaberach on page 371.
Mishaberach Avotenu B'kor habracha Imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu B'kor habracha Avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Last week's Torah portion, Tzav, gave us details about the ordination of the priests for their work leading worship in the just completed tabernacle, the portable sanctuary that will travel with the Israelites through the wilderness. The beginning of this week's Torah portion, Shmini, picks up on the 8th day of that ordination ceremony. And in fact, Shmini means eighth. I had to stop and think and make sure I was right about that. Anyway, it's the 8th day of that ordination ceremony when Aaron, the high priest, and his sons make the first sacrifices in the tabernacle. And in response, God's presence appears before the people, and fire comes forth and consumes the sacrifices. And it's overwhelming and joyful and frightening, and people fall on their faces. And then we read, now Aaron's sons, Nadav and Avihu, each took his fire pan, put fire in it, and laid incense on it. And they offered before the Eternal alien fire, which had not been enjoined upon them. And fire came forth from the Eternal and consumed them. Thus they died at the instance of the Eternal. Then Moses said to Aaron, this is what the Eternal meant by saying, through those near to me I show myself holy and gain glory before all the people. And Aaron was silent. This is a mysterious passage. Why do Nadav and Avihu lose their lives here? When someone dies through God's power in the Torah, the usual immediate interpretation is that God is punishing them for something. However, often when that happens, not always, but often, the text tells us that God is angry. For example, in our Haftarah for this Shabbat, King David is bringing the Ark of the Covenant back to Jerusalem from the land of the Philistines. The Philistines had captured it a while back. And as the ark is being transported in a wagon, the oxen stumble and the wagon starts to tip over. And Uzzah, who is one of the guys accompanying it, reaches out and grabs the ark, right? Because it shouldn't fall. Well, then we read, and the Eternal grew furious with Uzzah, and God struck him down on the spot because of his disrespect. But in our Torah portion, it doesn't say that God was angry with Nadav and Avihu. We have this phrase that tells us they offered alien fire, which had not been commanded of them. So maybe the issue is that they didn't follow the rules, though being consumed by fire seems like an extreme reaction. Some of our interpreters say, well, it's not just that they didn't follow the rules in this instance, they weren't good guys. They had been drinking and were arrogant and irreverent, and they didn't respect Moses. The drinking accusation is because immediately after this happens, the Torah says that no priest may drink alcohol or another intoxicant before entering the sanctuary, and that proximity leads some to conclude that that is what Nadav and Avihu did wrong, in addition to not following the rules. Others say that they were extremely righteous men, and that the only misstep ever attributed to them is alien fire. The severity of their punishment, if it is a punishment, is precisely because they were at a very high spiritual level at which small infractions are responded to more severely. But there's another interpretation, a dramatically different one from any of these, of why Nadav and Avihu die here in our Torah portion. And this approach explicitly does not see their deaths as a punishment. One of those who held this view was Philo, a first century Jewish philosopher who lived in Alexandria, Egypt. He says Nadav and Avihu had drawn near to God and forsaken mortal life. Therefore, the Bible says they died before the eternal. They were taken up by a rush of fire unquenchable, by an undying splendor. In this interpretation, which I'd like to hold on to for this Shabbat, the deaths of Nadav and Avihu are not a punishment at all. Rather, they chose to draw near to God and give up their lives. This interpretation interests me this year because I'm thinking about people who choose to give up their lives for something that is more important than staying alive. How much devotion must it take to put yourself in a situation in which your death is certain or almost certain, when self-preservation is one of our most basic instincts? I'm thinking of school teachers and sometimes students as well who went toward school shooters to try to allow others to escape and who died in that effort. I'm thinking of firefighters and police officers who run into burning buildings and other life-threatening situations to try to save others, including the many who died on 9/11, running into the buildings of the World Trade Center before they collapsed. And right now, I'm thinking a lot about the people of Ukraine who have been armed by their government and who are fighting against the Russian invasion of their land. And I'm thinking particularly of their leader, President Vladimir Zelensky. President Zelensky is a man in his 40s who is married and has young children. His career before he became president was as a performer and a comedian, making people laugh for a living. I wonder if he had any inkling that he would be president when Russia invaded Ukraine. Whether he did or not, it happened, and he was offered a way out, an opportunity to be an exiled president, advocating for his country but living in safety, or at least relative safety, and he refused to take that way out, and he may very well end up giving his life for his country. What devotion! If he is killed while he leads Ukraine in the resistance to the Russian invasion, that won't be a punishment. It won't be because he did something wrong. It will be proof that this is a man of integrity who gave his life for something that was more important to him than his own life. And of course, if he survives, it would also be proof of that same thing. I hope that none of us will ever be in a situation in which we must choose whether to face certain or near certain death, or for a principle, or to save others. If we are, I want to be clear that there is no shame in saving ourselves. Our tradition tells us that saving our own lives takes precedence over almost everything else. There is a reason that we admire and honor those willing to give their lives in these situations, a reason that we call them heroes, It's not something that everyone can do, and that's okay. Our tradition says that when a person kills another person, it is as if they have destroyed a whole world. So this Shabbat, I want to honor those worlds that have been lost because those people were so devoted to others or to a principle that they allowed themselves to be destroyed. I pray for the safety of President Vladimir Zelensky and his people and honor their courage and fortitude. At least for this Shabbat, this year, let us think of Nadav and Avihu not as transgressors, but as people who chose something more important than their own lives, nearness to God. May all of those who put themselves in danger for something more important than their own lives be watched over by God in whatever way they or we understand that word, God. May they and we be sustained in strength and courage. Amen and Shabbat Shalom.
We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are embraced by arms that find us even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled, as are the arms, the fingers, the voices, as are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love.
We are continuing with the Aleinu, beginning at the top of page 586. I invite you to rise if you're able.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגבהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך המלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו Shema Echad.
You may be seated. We turn our thoughts now to those who are no longer with us, our loved ones who have died in the past days or weeks or months, or in past years at this time of the year. I have put the yahrzeit list for the coming week on the screen. I apologize for how small it is. If you are on Zoom and you would like to add any names for the mourners Kaddish, you can put them in the chat, but I will give everybody an opportunity to add names out loud. We remember those who have died in the past year. The Reverend Eleanor Lee McGee Street, Lotta Bloom, Irv Golden, Arthur Derry, Andrew Mazzella, Arthur Goldstein, Linda Gilbert Schneider, Della Cohen, Fran Arnowitz, Selma Carl, Harold Carl, Emily Seff, Moshe Usher Reinitz, Huma Saber, Lila Bloomfield, John Carfisi, Andy Glantzman, Todd Zeitlin, John Previtt Jr., Augie Dorio, Janet Esposito, Kay Josephs, Arnold Block, Elizabeth Clark, Kyle McGee Sr., Ida Houston, Louisa Espute, Perry De La Touche, Ira Roth, Roberta Hayrath, George Liss, the Reverend Claude Park Street, Sylvia Tishkovich, Ellen Belofsky, Cindy Retagliata, Dolores Weinberger, Suzanne Leknos, Shirley Kafker, Lillian Frost Ridgely, Thomas Marinin, Meg Goldate, Marguerite Romeo, John Young, Isadora Frost, Fred Perlman, Claire Kramer, Bob Ira Kleinberg, Dorothea Schuring, Peter Brandenberger. On our yahrzeit list are included Mark Koser, a loved one of Roz Baylor, Samuel Rothman, Robert Rothman's father, Erwin Silverberg, Yvette Pomerantz's uncle, and Aaron Silverman, Sam Silverman's uncle. We include also those folks the people who were killed by a terrorist in stabbings in Beersheba in Israel this week. I believe it was 4 people, and also Madeleine Albright, former Secretary of State, and the first woman to hold that position. We include also Theodora Campbell and Dalbert Harrison, Patricia Matthews' grandparents, and her parents, Gideon Matthews and Thelma Matthews, Francis Bergman, Pat Nelson, Louise Stover, excuse me, Grace Tracy, Karen Dahlberg Rousseau, Linda Kushner Silverman's cousin, Stanley Tenen. Karen includes Detectives Rivera and Mora, and of course we include those who have been killed in Ukraine. Lancelot Grant, Dr. Francis Jackson, and Dr. Rabbi Yehuda Shabbatay. Who has names that they would like to add? Alan?
Detectives Mora and Rivera, Alan Hiss, Charles Abrahams, my uncle, and I just got word today, somebody that I started officiating with many years ago, he made it to the National Football League. He actually officiated the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And passed away yesterday.
Wayne Mackey. Adrian? Eric?
It's 30 years ago that my dad, Cedric Schuster, passed away. His name was Cedric, but Tzaddik in Hebrew, and everybody called him Sudi, so that's Sudi Schuster, and he was a most beautiful person.
Thank you. Frima?
Charlotte could back me up. I think on this list isn't Benjamin Quayles.
Yes,
Was the husband of Sandra Quayles, right?
That's
A long
correct.
time
That's
member?
correct. Yes,
Okay.
that's whose name I wanted remembered. He was a very dear friend.
Okay, I remember. And also I have Jack Mandel and Betty Rubel. Thank you.
Charlotte, did you have any other names to add? No? Judith?
Yeah, on the list is my grandfather, Louis Mencken, my mother's father, and my grandmother's sister, my great aunt, and Adele Wellman.
Thank you. Does anyone else have names?
Yes, Rabbi.
Yes, go ahead.
Leonard Cohen was a stalwart at Beth Shalom. There was nothing Lenny wouldn't do for anybody, or especially for Temple. Never wanted an honor, never wanted a position. Just leave him alone and let him do his work quietly. A good man.
Thank you, Diane. Anyone else? Oh. We also include all of those who have died from COVID-19. As we already mentioned, those who have died in Ukraine, those who have died in other areas of conflict and in other disasters, whether natural or human created, or in famine, or alone and homeless on the streets of our cities. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598. I invite you to rise if you're able and join in, or to participate according to your own custom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, b'agala u'v'zman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivorach leolam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'yimru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to the bereaved wherever they may be. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
I'd like to invite our president, Adrienne Knoll, to give us the announcements.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Let's see, what do we have here? Tomorrow, religious school 9:45, B'yachad 10 o'clock. Services here and there at 11. This week is interesting. We have our security trainings here. You can do either one afternoon, well, morning, afternoon on Tuesday, or 2 evenings. But a lot of work was put into making this happen. If you haven't already registered, you can still register on Monday. Call Alice, reserve your spot. Some of it's going to be on Zoom, and for those who are here, we will feed you. So that's additional motivation for coming. What else? There's no Torah study here this week because of security. Gentle chair yoga, 4 to 5 on Tuesday, March 8th. No, that passed. What's this wrong date is in here. Anyway, yeah, it's still on Tuesday, 4 to 5. What else? Confirmation class here, Wednesday. We have a bunch of stuff coming up. We are planning a second night, community Seder for Passover. We're trying to gauge how many people are interested. So if you do have any interest in coming, call Alice, let her know. And we are looking for volunteers who will be willing to help Helene Smith set up, schlep stuff. But we do need a lot of help for that as well. Of course, you all know about our journal luncheon on June 12th. So get your ads in, get your reservations in. I actually have to do that. But yes, do that. Goods and services auction will be taking place online June 7th through June 12th. If you have any interesting goods or services or talents or anything that you can offer your temple community for auction, please let Karen Eichel or Pam Glansman or the temple office know by April 8th. And we are planning something great to get people back in the building on Friday nights. And I'd like Noni to tell people more about that.
Well, beginning the first Thursday in May and the Thursdays following up until I think June, did we decide on June 7th? June 10th for a special musical Shabbat. So Thursdays from 7 to 9 with a half an hour break for community chat and cake. We'll be learning some contemporary songs, and we'll learn those for 4 Thursdays or so, and hoping that I'll get a lot of people in here to sing. And on that Friday, the June 10th, we'll have a little bit of a band playing with Michael, and we'll see if we can have just an uplifting musical Shabbat and a nice oneg to follow that.
Yes, and for those who would like to take part in our sing-alongs, tell your friends. Please bring your friends.
And we'll be sending
along.
out information, right?
Yes, oh yes, absolutely. So stay tuned for that. And I think we're doing a Passover food drive. I don't see it here, but we are doing a Passover food drive. You all got an email about that. And I think that's it for now. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Wait, Alan Zarrow. Oh, okay. For those who follow basketball, St. Peter's won tonight. Alan Zarrow just gave us that information. So I pass that along to you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
Where is that school, Alan? Oh,
That's in Jersey City, and I believe in the first round they upset the number 2 seed, right? And they're still winning. Go St. Peter's.
wow.
The school. Okay. Oh, and Nathan says he watched the first parts of the New Jew series and really enjoyed it. He couldn't join the discussion, though. So, yeah, we had the discussion for the first 2 episodes of The New Jew, which is an Israeli production intended to introduce Israelis to the diversity of American Jewry, which Israelis know like nothing at all about, most of them. So there are 2 more episodes, which we're gonna be able to watch them, I think, at the beginning of April. Like, I want to say April 2 to 5, but don't hold me to that. So if you want to join, you can still register at Room J at emjc.org. So that's through the East Midwood Jewish Center. We're collaborating on this with Park Slope Jewish Center and East Midwood Jewish Center, and East Midwood is handling all of the registration. So you can register, it's free. And what that means is you'll receive the links where you'll be able to watch the shows, and then we'll have another discussion about the second 2 episodes. I'm sure you can jump in now. It's no problem if you didn't. So and it was in your email, so you can see that. What are we closing with?
Aina Deer.
We're closing with Aina Deer. Let me see if I can quickly find that and put it up on the screen, but you could get started.
מיפיאל ומיפיאל יבורך כל ישראל מיפיאל ומיפיאל יבורך כל ישראל אין אדיר כאדוני ואין ברוך ואין אמרם אין גדולה כתורה ואין דשנך כישראל מיפיאל ומיפיאל יבורך כל ישראל אין הדור כאדוני ואין ותיק ואין אמרם אין זכה כתורה ואין חכמך כישראל מיפיאל ומיפיאל יבורך כל ישראל אין טהור כאדוני ואין יחיד כבן אמרם אין כבירה כתורה ואין למדך כישראל מיפיאל ומיפיאל יבורך כל ישראל אין פודה כאדוני ואין צדיק כבן אמרם אין קדושה כתורה ואין תומכך כישראל מיפיאל ומיפיאל יבורך כל ישראל מיפיאל ומיפיאל יבורך כל ישראל
יברכך אדוני וישמרך יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך Shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine on you and be gracious to you. May God lift God's face towards you and give you peace. Amen. And we conclude with a motzi. There's an oneg in the community room. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Have a great weekend. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
My battery was going dead on my iPad, but I plugged it in, so now it's okay. But now we're done.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
everybody.
Stay well.
Shabbat shalom.
Bye.
Mona,
Yes.
what happened with Frances?
Oh, she passed away last Saturday.
Oh my
She wasn't
gosh.
well, but she wasn't well for a couple of weeks. Evidently, she had fallen, and
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I lost a good friend. We were friends a long time.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
I
very
remember
Uh,
when we
okay.
went for the discussions and
Well,
stuff.
yeah. What? Yeah, I know.
But she's 95 and she lived her life the way
Best time
she
to talk,
wanted.
but we can.
Good for her.
It's okay.
Good
Yep.
for
Now
her.
let
She
me.
went the way she wanted, you know.
Oh, Okay, I just saw the name and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had her on the
my-
Mishabea list, and then that Saturday, late afternoon, I found out that she
Oy.
passed away.
Oh my God, I remember going to her house. I remember many moons ago. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Mona, my condolences. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Oh, yes, I forgot you knew Francis also, Karen.
No, did I? I don't think I did, but I just
Yeah,
wanted to, you know, if it was a.
It was Lillian and Francis and Evelyn. They were all friends with your father and his
Oh,
girlfriend.
okay. Okay. Maybe I would know if I saw her by sight. Yes.
She was an older lady. She was
Oh,
a
okay.
special lady. She
My
had
father.
a very nice voice.
Yeah.
But you know who else was in that group? Carol. You know, as I'm going through names for Larry that I was going through for the invite, remember Carol?
People, someone he knew started attending.
Okay.
Carol, from Parents Without Partners?
Yes, she drove a red car, remember? I passed her name the other day because, like I'm saying, I'm going through a lot of names to, you know, I help Larry along. And like I see some of these names and I'm just like, oh yeah. Hi, Mary Lou.
It's almost here, huh? Freeman?
Night.
Overwhelming. Sometimes it's overwhelming, yes.
Freeman, what month is it? What is it coming up? The
Next
wedding.
month, April 24th.
Okay, that's great. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
It'll be wonderful.
I'm trying to be calm. I'm trying a new approach to be calm.
Yeah, you know, you do all this planning and then it'll feel like 2 seconds and it's over. You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
One step at a
Looking
time.
forward is part of the enjoyment.
It is. It is.
I hope so, Roseanne. I hope so.
Yeah, because the actual experience goes by in a flash. So
Yeah.
that's why I appreciate the looking forward, considerate part.
I remember in my wedding, we had the maitre d', I think his name was Paul. He was after Lenny and I eat, because we would go around to this table, that table, this table, that
Yeah.
table. I remember we didn't eat. They packed us up food. It was
like you don't get to enjoy your own wedding because you're running around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hi, Deanna.
Hi, a vocabulary question. What does Shaberach mean when we say Mishaberach? What does the word Shaberach mean? Anybody know?
I always thought it was prayer for healing. Healing prayer.
But that's what it is. But what does it mean, that word? Does it mean healing?
Oh. Huh.
Yes, we have to ask
Means
Rabbi.
Who? I think it means who helped others help us.
Maybe. Okay, well, I think we help each other when we say those prayers.
Yes, but
Yeah.
what does the word Shaberach mean itself? That's what I was wondering.
I don't know, Deanna.
We have to ask the rabbi what it means in Hebrew.
Right.
Tomorrow. I won't be on tomorrow because you know, I have something to do tomorrow, so I won't be on. Anyway, I'm going to say nice to see everybody. I am going to say good night.
Good night. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. And enjoy everything. Bye, Irene.
Bye.
My picture's not on.
Bye, everyone.
Take care, everybody. Be good, everybody. Be good. I always say be good. Take care, everybody. Good job.